Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and in today's video we'll be taking a look at Assassination Rogues for PvP for patch 9.1. We've already taken a look at Outlaw and Subtlety, and both of those specs have gotten very exciting changes. Assassination in comparison did not get anything nearly as exciting, however its changes are significant, and I want to do a little bit of a dive deep on them. I want to discuss Assassination in terms of the changes, what is new, what's exciting, what looks like fun, what looks interesting, and also talk a bit about how it plays and my thoughts about it going forward into this season 2, how well it's going to perform. So let's dive into today's topic. Assassination, on the first look, is losing out on one of their strongest, arguably the best legendary for the spec, and that is the crit legendary, Master Assassin. The reason why I think it is the best legendary is one, combining Vendetta together with this crit legendary, even going as far as to vanish during your Vendetta burst, is just so much raw damage, it's really difficult to pass up. Also, critical strikes gives Assassination easier calm point generation, which during your opener, when your abilities are so energy expensive, I'm a huge fan of those abilities just generating extra calm points, giving you much beefier openers. It feels so good to play with when combined together with 100% crit and ambushes, and just how much those generate in terms of the calm points. It smooths out the rotation, and having this leg nerf does kind of blow. But it's not the end of the world, because Assassination does have other choices in terms of strong legendaries, especially when the Covenant legendaries are coming around. Should be especially excited if you're going to be playing Venti or Assassination, or maybe an unorthodox Kyrian Assassination, because both of their legendaries are looking pretty good. We'll talk about legendaries a little bit later, but playing with the current version of the crit Lego just feels like it's not even there. I mean, 1.4 seconds of crit is just almost feels like nothing. For Assassination, you do lose some PvP talents, that is being the mind-numbing poison as well as the neurotoxin, which in my recent memory I don't remember ever slotting in either one. Mind-numbing, I'll give you credit, that is a decent poison against casters for extra damage if you do not need any of the other mandatory talents like maneuverability, smoke bomb, and maybe system shock, but it just was not a pick talent. Neither was neurotoxin. I don't remember last time I even played it ever, so I don't think a lot of Assassination rogues are going to notice a difference. Dismantle is now available for all 3 specs, and it's fantastic. I'm glad Assassination is getting it. Tricks of Trade as well, the Thickest Thieves on a talent, and the improved version of maneuverability are the 3 things that every single rogue has, and I'm super glad about it in terms of just how strong all these 3 honor talents are, and they definitely fit Assassination pretty well. Crippling Poison has been buffed as an honor talent. With Crippling, your Envenom applies creeping venom on the target, reducing target's movement speed by 5% for 4 seconds, creeping venom is reapplied when the target moves, and stacks every time it's reapplied. Now, if you actually use this on a target who isn't able to dispel themselves and they're fully maxed out on these stacks with another slow on top of it, they are at a crawl. So this could be really interesting maybe in RBGs. Maybe Assassination will start replacing Subtlety, where if you're able just to get a creeping venom on the tank, if they are unable to dispel the poison, that will eventually slow them down as they try to speed run the flag over to the base, or force to stand still until creeping falls off, which is where the rogue can reapply it at 1 or 2 combo points. I wonder if that'll be part of that gameplay going forward. Definitely a very interesting talent, but it is pretty easy to get rid of because of dispels. Plenty of classes and healers and such do have a way to dispel that poison. Intent to Kill is another talent that has been changed a bit. It's a lot stronger. Shadow Step cooldown is reduced by 80% when using a target marked by your Vendetta, which gives Assassination even more of that zero-in focus gameplay that it already has with Vendetta. I never really liked this talent, but it's I guess a nice buff. Somebody might find it useful. And finally, Hemotoxin is one of the strongest talents I've seen in a while. Shiv also reduces the target's healing received by 40% for 9 seconds. This debuff is physical, so it's not a poison of any kind. And last time I checked it on PTR, it's stacked with Wound Poison, which creates for a very big window where you can burst someone down and no amount of healing is going to be able to save them. I really like this Hemotoxin talent because rogues poisons can, as I said before, be dispelled pretty easily. There's quite a few classes that can do that, so having Shiv apply a physical debuff, which cannot be removed except with an invulnerability or an immunity, Hemotoxin is going to give you that lockdown potential. Again, more of that single target focusing gameplay that we see from Assassination. But besides that, the Assassination spec isn't really all that different. It is still going to be, I think, with these new talents, even more about focusing targets down because of the way that Vendetta works. Assassination is unique because some of the other specs in the game buff themselves when they want to do burst damage, Assassination instead debuffs their primary target, whoever they're trying to focus down, which means that they can only do that extra damage to that singular target, which means you end up doing a lot of tunneling in your gameplay. But with the talents like Hemotoxing and maybe even a little bit of intent to kill on top of it, you have even more tools that help you tunnel your primary target, which is going to be interesting in terms of the tunneling aspect is getting amplified even more, and that's about the only change you're going to notice as an Assassination rogue. If I had to say anything about Assass, I would have loved for devs to try something new when it comes to honor talents. The ones that they've given are great, and they just continue what Assassination is really good in. But Outlaw and Subtlety both have gotten some really cool creative ideas that I don't think ever been done before. From the Mirage talent for Subtlety, which I don't know how often that'll be used, but it seems really cool. Also some of the cooldown reduction, hey, reduce the CDs, but also reduce the amount of damage you do when you pop those CDs. Outlaw with so many cool new talents that has gotten to play into the cooldown reduction aspect, as well as give yourself more of that brawler playstyle rather than stealth. It tries to like amplify aspects that are not really part of rogues, but on paper thematically are there. If I had to wish list, for example, of some of the things Blizzard could have maybe worked with is make a honor talent that increases the amount of damage your bleeds do at a sacrifice of maybe your poison damage. So then Assassination can maybe be like a very bleed heavy spec instead of going for the big bursty poisons, so you could have a variation to your gameplay. Something like that would definitely be interesting, but besides that, the honor talents that Assass does have are fantastic. Still glad about Dismantle, Tricks of Trade, as well as the maneuverability, how all three of those are core to the rogue as a class. The only question that I keep bouncing between is which Assassination legendary are you going to end up running for PvP? Since the crit legendary I think is still decent, but it's something that I'm thinking of maybe walking away from because of 4 seconds of 100% crit versus 1.4 seconds is just such a small number. I feel like maybe now it's time for a change. Obvious legendaries that pop up are Doomblades, which gives your Envenoms more damage, which is a very strong PvE legendary, but also Deathly Shadows for that Vanish 5 wombo combo. I really like the wombo combo of the 100% crit, Vanish, Vendetta, commit every single cooldown to try to go in for the biggest one-shot ever as Assass, and maybe Deathly Shadows might end up filling that void, because I can imagine going for like a triple Envenom, more Vanish into a full Envenom, Mark for Death Envenom, build up some comp points very quickly into another Envenom. Triple Envenom could be very deadly. But also if you are playing different covenants, Vent your Legendary Obedience seems really strong. A lot of people are talking about that one, where your Flagellation will not only stack up haste, but also versatility, which is the best PvP stat you can get. Also reduces the cooldown of your Flagellation down to about a minute or so on average, which lines up better with Vendetta and gives you more uses of Flagellation, which will make Assassination more of this bursty spec rather than sustain heavy, but definitely could be an interesting choice going forward. I'm definitely going to craft the Obedience Legendary, as it looks like a really strong legendary for rogues for PvE in general, but if I were to wager a guess, I think Doomblades might end up being the best one for Assassination going forward. But that's just a guess right now, and I'll just kind of let somebody else figure out what the best one is, let people try it out, and then revisit Assassination in Season 2 once we have that answer. But as the spec goes, it didn't really change too much. It's basically box standard like it was, except with a cool new few tools to give you even more focus damage into your primary target with a various amount of debuffs. Although I do want to see how cool Creeping Venom could be on a full team that doesn't have any kind of poison dispels. I think that one could be very interesting. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you going to be giving Assassination Rogue a try for this Season 2? Is this going to be the spec you will be playing, or are you thinking of playing something else? Thank you all so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.